gentlemen, now is the time for the Renaissance reenactment.
Huzzah!
Father time.
Hey!
We start with the Elizabethan playwright Thomas Dekker, who wrote, "So winged time that long ago flew hence, you must fetch back with all those golden years he stole, and here imagine still he stands, thrusting his silver lock into your hands. There hold it but 2 hours, it shall from graves raise up the dead." This is from the prologue of Dekker's play The Whore of Babylon, about evil Catholics and Queen Elizabeth I. And the dead we are bringing back are 2 of the greatest people who ever lived. Or so you should think if you are in this audience. Queen Elizabeth I and her favorite playwright William Shakespeare. We know that the superb scholar Helen Hackett states that the relationship of Elizabeth and Shakespeare is a well-loved myth. But today, we will see what they actually have to say to each other.
Thank you, Father Time. Master Shakespeare.
Queen Elizabeth.
Well, it is true that I did thoroughly enjoy Will Shakespeare's plays. I even had some presented at my court. But unlike the wonderful Judi Dench, whose portrayal of me is the best one I know, I never went to the public theater. I brought the me.
And Joseph Fiennes was almost as handsome as I was in my youth.
He sure must have been handsomer than your portraits, Will.
Worst of all the films, though, was Anonymous. They made me look like a dishonest buffoon and trumpeted that ridiculous theory that the Earl of Oxford wrote my plays. Actors are such gossips that had I not written my plays, all of Elizabethan England would have known.
All of it indeed. Well, what about me in that film? According to that, as queen, all I did was sleep with people and have babies. Now I thought Kate Blanchett was almost as lovely as a young woman as I was. But that script, you should have written it, Master Shakespeare. But while I loved having silly dogs on stage, why do comedies always have to end in marriage? I do not like the woman's part.
But you must admit, Your Majesty, some of the heroines in my comedies had the strength, courage, and cleverness I saw in you. My character Rosalind, for example. She proclaimed,
"Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3 years old, conversed with the magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. I have promised to make all this matter even."
and Rosalind does. Think of Olivia in Twelfth Night, one able to command her followers, take and give back affairs in their dispatch with such smooth and stable bearing.
True, I very much liked the Countess Olivia. Like me, she gave her own picture to those she valued so they might wear it. 'Twas she who chose whom she would marry.
"Blame not this haste of mine. If you mean well, now go with me and this holy man into the chantry by, and there, before him, and under that consecrated roof, plight me the full assurance of your faith, that my most jealous and too doubtful soul may live in peace. He shall conceal it well, you are willing it shall come to know to what time we will our celebration keep, according to my birth. What do you say?"
I'll follow this good man and go with you, and having sworn truth, ever will be true.
And though Olivia at that moment thought she might be marrying Cesario, she's marrying the very willing and very charming Sebastian, and she will be very happy. And since she is of higher status, Master Shakespeare, no doubt she will not take a back seat in that marriage. But, Master Shakespeare, I do have a bone to pick with you about the way queens are presented in your plays. Think of the queen in Sibylline, or Tamara, queen of the Goths, who seemed to kill everybody, or Gertrude in Hamlet who had her own husband killed and then married his murderer.
Your Majesty, you know how much I love and admire you. In fact, I wanted to portray you on stage, but you forbid any portrayal of you to be on stage. But I did describe you in A Midsummer Night's Dream as a fair vestal throned by the west, the imperial votaress, in maiden meditation, fancy-free.
But what about the fairy queen Titania, forced to sleep with an ass? And giving back to Oberon, the Indian boy she had every reason to keep in value? After all, she said to her friend,
"His mother was a votaress of my order, and in the spiced Indian air by night, full often hath she gossiped by my side. But she, being mortal, of that boy did die, and for her sake I do rear up the boy, and for her sake I will not part with her."
I think, Master Shakespeare, you should add some lines to the final scene between Oberon and his fairy queen Titania. Make it clear she knew just what she was doing. Have her give Oberon those answerless answers I used to give to Parliament. But have him so dazzled that he thinks he has control of the Indian child, though she is the one who carries him on stage, while Oberon gazes adoringly at her. She should be saying, hand in hand with fairy grace, will we sing and bless this place, because she got what she wanted, rather than giving up that boy after being put under a cruel love spell.
That would certainly change the plot.
I agree, some changes in plot would be wonderful. As I have suggested, too many of your queens are powerful but also evil. Think of Lady Macbeth and what she says to her husband.
This is the very painting of your fear. This air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces when all is done? You look but on a stool.
And then she's so upset that she walks and talks in her sleep and kills herself.
Here is the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, oh, oh. Wash your hands. Put your nightgown on. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out from one's grave. To bed, to bed. There's a knocking at the gate. Come, come, come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed, to bed, to bed.
Why can't queens be powerful, strong, and good? Why can't they have lines such as those I said to the troops at Tilbury at the time of the Armada when we feared the Spanish invasion? I said, my loving people, we have been persuaded by some that are careful of our safety to take heed how we commit ourselves to armed multitudes for fear of treachery. But I assure you, I do not desire to live to distrust my faithful and loving people. I have always so behaved myself that under God I have placed my chiefest strength and safeguard in the loyal hearts and goodwill of my subjects, and come amongst you all, being resolved in the mid and east of battle, to live and die amongst you all, to lay down for my God, for my kingdom, for my people, my honor and my blood, even in the dust. I know I may have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king, and a king of England too, and think false scorn that Parma or Spain should dare invade the borders of my realm. Rather, I myself will take up arms. I myself will be your general judge and rewarder of every of your virtues in the field.
Your speech is golden, Your Majesty.
Well, thank you, sir, Lord William. Consider, Goneril, how evil Goneril and Regan were to their father once they became queens. They certainly prove what I've often said, that even the best trees have rotten branches. One reason I never had a child.
As King Lear put it, though, he was talking about his other daughter, Cordelia. How sharper than a serpent's tooth is it to have a thankless child?
I do understand that. Think about how the Earl of Essex acted, rebelling against me in 1601. I had to have his head cut off.
A tragedy indeed. But after seeing your great reign, Majesty, I could also create strong and virtuous queens, such as Hermione in The Winter's Tale. She told of her husband, Leonte.
This action I now go on is for my better grace.
Shakespeare's still writing his next line here. And when her king When her husband King Leontes falsely accused her, she is strong in her own defense.
If powers divine behold our human actions as they do, I doubt not then, but innocence shall make. False accusations blush in tyranny, tremble at patience. You, my lord, best know, who least will seem to do so. My past life hath been as continent, as chaste, as true, as I am now unhappy. For behold me, a great king's daughter.
Just like you, your majesty.
For life I prize it, as I weigh grief, which I would spare for honor. 'Tis a derivative from me to mine, and only that I stand for. But yet hear thee this, mistake me not, no life, I prize it not a straw before mine honor.
Hermione is a great queen, and her friend Paulina a strong woman too. I greatly value the close friendships I had with women at my court. You did do well, Master Shakespeare, at the end of your career.
I did especially well, dear queen, at the end of my play about your father, when Archbishop Cranmer foretells of you.
Let me speak, sir, for heaven now bids me. The words I utter let none think flattery, for they'll find 'em true. This royal infant, though in her cradle, yet now promises upon this land 1,000 blessings, which time shall bring to ripeness all princely graces. All the virtues that attend the good shall still be doubled on her. Truth shall nurse her. Holy and heavenly thoughts still counsel her. She shall be loved and feared. Her own shall bless her. Her foes shake like a field of beaten corn and hang their heads in sorrow. Good grows with her. In her days every man shall eat in safety and sing the merry songs of peace to all his neighbors.
A lovely speech, and will I applaud you and all of the actors.
And to the audience, please applaud our queen.